Hello lovelies, welcome back to All My Yum's Kitchen. Is Yinka here. In today's video, I will be sharing with you the recipe for this delicious fudgy brownie. And you don't want to know what I did during the making of this brownie. I forgot to add sugar. And yes, I'm being vulnerable here because we're all human and we make mistakes. But when it comes to cooking, even if I make mistake, I'm going to find my way around it. So I'm going to be sharing with you at what point I added the sugar, and to be honest, the brownie turned out really nice. So let's get started. First, you're going to start by preheating your oven to 180 degrees, and I did that, and then I went ahead to line my baking pan. This is a 9.5-inch baking pan. A 9-inch pan would work nicely for this recipe as well. I lined it with some parchment paper, and then I came in with some melted butter, and I'm going to be greasing the pan. Make sure you grease the pan very well. This is another thing. I don't know what happened this day. I was just so much in a hurry. I wasn't really coordinated, so I was making a lot of mistakes. So I did miss some corners of the pan while trying to grease it, but like I said, no stopping me. So make sure you grease your pan very well. Make sure you touch every corner, and that way your cake is going to come out nice and easy. Another mistake that I made was not to bring out my butter from the fridge. I've made this recipe so many times, but for whatever reason, this particular day I wanted to make these brownies, and nothing was aligning, but I was not going to stop anyway. So make sure you bring out your butter out of the fridge in advance. Room temperature butter would be much easier to work with. So because my butter is just coming out of the fridge, it's still hard, so I had to cut it into chunks and then placed it into this bowl. Also, the same thing for your chocolate. Is better if you leave it out of the fridge, as we're going to be mixing both together and then uh, melting them. I know some people melt this over the stove, but I have always done this and it always works. So I always just melt mine together in the microwave. So you're going to add your chocolate chip into the butter, and then you're going to place it in the microwave and you're going to be melting that down. But be careful not to put it on for a long time. So I was melting this down at 30 seconds increments. So after 30 seconds, I'll bring it out, I'll mix it together, and then I'll take it back into the microwave. It took a longer time because my ingredients were still very cold, but it's okay. So I've finally managed to melt everything, and I am going to be setting that aside. Next, I prepared my dry ingredients, my flour, my cocoa powder. I made use of dark chocolate powder. I added some coffee, instant coffee, my baking powder, some salt. Do not worry, I'm going to leave the full list of ingredients in the description box below. I broke my egg into another bowl. That's 4 eggs. And this is the point you're going to add your sugar. So don't be like me. I totally forgot to add the sugar at this point. I added my vegetable oil, and I added my vanilla essence, and I and I just came in with my chocolate and started to mix it. And after mixing this for a while, I realized that something is missing. This is the importance of preparing your ingredients beforehand. But I'm not one of those YouTube chefs that have everything together all the time. So anyway, I came in with my sugar at this point, and I had to work this batter now because I had to make sure that the sugar is now well incorporated into the mixture. So I had to really, really work this. And yeah, after some time, I was satisfied with what the outcome is, and then I proceeded to add the dry ingredients into this mix. If you have watched this video up to this time, thank you so much for watching my video. I do really appreciate you. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button and also leave me a comment and hit the like button as well. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. So make sure you mix everything together nicely at this point. It's more of folding than mixing at this point. So if you notice, I've switched to a spatula and I'm just mixing the batter together with the flour. And I just, fold in the flour gently. I'm not whisking here into it, and you just want to fold it in nicely onto the flour mixture is well incorporated. Then you're going to bring your batter to your lined paper and you're going to just begin to pour it in like this. And it was so satisfying to watch. Like I said earlier, I made use of dark chocolate. You can make use of normal cocoa powder. For whatever reason, this is what I had on hand and it did the job well for me. But that is why it is this dark. So if you don't want it this dark, just use normal cocoa powder. But this worked well for me as well. So it's up to you, whatever you like. So pour everything into your grease pan like this and make sure to scrape the remaining batter of the bowl because this batter is very thick. It's very thick and it's not going to come easy, so you're going to scrape it properly and make sure you get all this goodness into the baking dish. Remember to check the description box below for the list of ingredients and measurements. This brownie is very easy to make. Forget the fact that I messed it up by not prepping my ingredients beforehand. So the key is for you to prep your ingredient beforehand, and because it doesn't require long mixing, you can melt your butter and chocolate in the microwave. Makes it really easy to make. So you're going to make sure that you spread your butter to the corners of the pan if it hasn't gotten to that side. You're just going to make sure you smoothen it out a little bit with your spatula like so. Make sure that there is no hair trapped in and make sure that it touches the edge because it's such a thick batter. You don't want it to not take the shape of the pan at the end of the day. Next, you're going to top this batter with some extra chocolate because what is brownies without chocolate? So you're going to just sprinkle some chocolate chips on it. That is if you want your brownies to be extra chocolatey and fudgy, but feel free to leave it out if you're not keen on some extra chocolate. But I'm telling you, this adds a nice extra layer of chocolate into your brownies. But I always believe that you can, make changes and adjust recipes to suit your tasting, so feel free to do what suits you. So once you've layered the chocolate chip on top of the batter, you're going to go and place this in your preheated oven. At this point, your oven should be nice and hot. So you're going to place it in the middle of the oven like so. You're going to close your oven and then you're going to bake your brownies. You're going to bake your brownies for about 35 to 40 minutes, and at this point your brownies should be nice and ready. You can do the toothpick test, but sometimes your toothpick may not come out clean because of all the chocolate that we have going on. But still, I still go ahead to do that. And this is what our brownie looks like. Be careful not to drop it too hard on the countertop. So with all the hiccups, the brownies are ready and the house smells so delicious at this point. Leave your brownies to sit in the pan for about 15 to 20 minutes or at least until it is cool. Do this to allow the chocolate chip to set properly and then bring it out of the baking pan. At this point, you're going to begin to cut your brownie. Please keep a wet cloth on the side. I used a bunch of kitchen towel, disposable ones, and I wet that with some water. This is for you to clean your knife so that you have a clean knife whenever you go into cut. So this is how I cut mine, and look at those edges. They were the best, honestly. In total, I cut about 9 perfect squares from these brownies, and I had lots of edges also as leftovers. And brownies are ready. They're delicious, they're fudgy, and this brownie stays moist for days. I'm telling you, I keep them in airtight container, keep it in the fridge, and anytime I'm wanting to snack on one, I just bring it out, leave it on the countertop, and it goes back to very soft and delicious. For some reasons, I enjoy eating the edges of brownies. I love the fact that they're a bit crispy. That said, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Please do not forget to hit the like button if you haven't already done so. Please subscribe to my channel. That is going to help me a lot. And please also do not forget to leave me a comment. The recipe is in the description box, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.